I don't have slides. I'm going to rescue you from PowerPoint briefly, and just wanted to talk a little bit about how universities can help progress new technologies. Science and progress in science is well established in many areas, but probably the waste industry has been slow off the mark. And what we're seeing is an industry completely changing structure from a haulage industry to a process industry. And that's critical not just for the industry itself, but for the nation, in the way that skills and knowledge are shared, and the role that we have in developing new technologies within the UK as an export market. Our closest analogy to that is probably the water industry, which everyone's well aware of. 20, 30 years ago went through major process changes and privatisation, and that pushed the water industry into a very competitive position. The waste industry is in that competitive position, but has now got to make that structural change. So what's the role of science, and what do universities do as part of that? Well, universities in simple terms only do three things. We research, we teach, and to some extent we train or do consultancy, but that's a smaller part of the work. And that's it. So why should we be interested? Well, we see in universities we really have three key components in supporting science and new technologies. Firstly, we'd see universities have a role to present a vision, to discuss and present and develop new ideas. Ideas that are blue sky or close to applied, but things that companies and industry can't develop up front on their own. And that's a key part that we have. But alongside that, we have a part of challenge as well, to investigate, to uncover, to look at processes and find out if they really perform as claimed. Can you have confidence? So the second part of our work is that element of confidence, and that's providing an evidence base for processors, for organisations, for buyers, and for independents and third parties to understand what are the implications of processes operating and what's the true risks. So to provide some developing people's expertise in industry, the people you're about to employ, work with, collaborate, and the people who are your buyers, your clients, your supply chain. So to increase knowledge. And we can only do that one way. Universities, strange as it may seem, are a business. They have to be financially viable, and they get an element of that money from government or from other sources. But we can use that money effectively if we provide it with leverage. So what I mean by leverage is where we get some money from another source and we work with partners to deliver a project, to deliver and meet organisational, companies, industries' needs. And the key to that delivery, that key to that leverage is relationships. So where I wanted to start and end with science, researchers and academics are preoccupied with their interest areas, but they only focus by developing good relationships with technology developers, with industry, with employers. So when we ask the question of working with universities, how do we start? Well, we start by trying to develop relationships. So if you have a university at your doorstep, go and talk to them. Ask what is their business model, in the same ways you might do with your client, your supply chain. How do we don't profit, but how do we survive on a not-for-profit basis? What are the ways of working with the university that make things effective so that you can get the science you need? In developing that relationship, just like any good relationship, you want to set out a programme and you want to keep an ongoing dialogue and to find the most cost-effective ways of doing that. That has a double benefit. It has a benefit to the supply chain, to you, the partner, the client, but also you're delivering a key role in guiding academic and research, because you're being influential in bringing the vision and the challenge of ideas back to the sector. So in answer to the question, do universities and science have a role in delivering new technologies? I think it's fundamental, but we can't do it on our own. And that's why I'm pleased to be here today, pleased to invite your questions, and delighted that Source are coordinating this event. So thanks very much, Peter.
Thank you. Well, Phil,